Welcome, and today we're gonna play the latest installment on the webpage, and that is the 1928 election. Yes, someone finally did this election, and we're gonna play as Republican Herbert Hoover. Feel free to pause, really good writing from what I've seen early. We're gonna play as him with Curtis as his VP, of course. There we go. This is a mod that I've really wanted someone to make, and it's right here finally. So, first question. Although you are always the frontrunner, you are due to give your speech at the Republican National Convention. Advisors believe you can really set the tone for the general election with this speech as you begin to prepare. What will your remarks be? Okay, so the 1928, the party is really quite popular, so we gotta just emphasize that alongside the economic prosperity. So, I think this is a really iconic one. We America today are nearer to the final triumph over poverty ever before in the history of any land. We have not reached the goal yet, but given a chance to go forward with the policies of the last administration, we shall soon, with the help of God, be in sight of the day when poverty will be banished from this nation. I think that was quite iconic. Very bold words, but they energize the convention and are played across the nation after the fact. Hopefully a speech like this can go down in history. I think that was probably my favorite one. At the convention, one of the biggest conflicts between the progressives and the conservatives is over the McNary-Hogan Farm Relief Bill, vetoed by President Coolidge. One way of perhaps exerting influence over the party is to push for a plank. Okay, so obviously we will push denouncing this. It is not wise to rock the boat. For years I have opposed this bill. I think I'm gonna go with obviously we will push for a plank denouncing this, but it wouldn't hurt to emphasize the plan I came up with to appease those trying to pass the bill. I think, was it the Hoover plan? Yeah, the Hoover plan, as it's called, is not exactly what the agricultural wing of the party wants, but it is a peace offering that helps weaken opposition. Okay, so as you can see, this mod is really quite interesting, and we're winning with 405. I usually wouldn't do back-to-back old mods, but because this is new, I think this was a good enough excuse. So the three ones right here that I really want to go to is Texas, Alabama, maybe North Carolina, and Massachusetts. So for the first one, let's go to Alabama. Why not? A struggle you clearly seem to be having is your ability to gain the trust of party leaders. Many of them believe you do not truly believe much of the Republican plank, and that you could have ran for either party. While still in close contact to many leaders, will you attempt to court their support? I mean, Hoover himself did. He worked for Republicans for a long while, so the leaders will complain in silence. I don't want to piss them off. I will press my pro-business stance. I want to be able to win some of the South, so that would, that would give us Massachusetts, but I have been a Republican my whole life, and I have worked for many Republican administrations in the past decade. I will continue to follow the same principles when I take office in the White House. This response goes over decently. Many leaders still do not trust you, but any ground gain is a net positive. Perhaps most telling of your problems with the GOP leadership is Coolidge's personal dislike of you. Due to his silent personality, this info is all but unknown. Perhaps an endorsement from him can stave off these rumors off. How will you seek his endorsement? So let's think the most likely thing to go with Calvin is just to be honest with him. And I think I don't need his endorsement. It's a bad idea. I will visit Coolidge in a fishing trip. That feels too pushy. that I'm trying too much, so yeah, I will be formal but honest about our disagreements and humble myself. We will have a discussion about what he would want out of my administration, just gotta be honest. Coolidge is looking to retire from public life, and despite his dislike of you, your discussion with him goes well and he endorses you. Nice. Yeah, just gotta be honest with him. Oh wow, I want to go to Massachusetts. It's really close and almost Democrat. The convention is wrapping up, and in a show of goodwill, you have decided to let the convention select your VP in an attempt to appease a farm vote. Kansas Senator and Majority Leader Charles Curtis was chosen by the delegates. What do you have to say about this? So Curtis is a decent VP for someone like Hoover, who's seen more as a moderate from the West Coast, since he's from California, by the way. So, we don't want to emphasize that he's half white because it's 1928, of course. Not the conservative, maybe I think I'm gonna go for the farmers one. So, Curtis is a respectable force in the Senate, and it's proved that I will be working for farmers across the nation. An olive branch to the farmers, I see. Given the Farm Bill situation, this might be a good way to frame this, okay? As the convention in Kansas City wraps up, it is time to begin campaigning for the election. Where would you like to visit today? Oh, okay. So we have Alabama, Republican currently. So we have 417 against Smith's 114. I want to get Texas, so the governor of Texas is opposed to Governor Smith's nomination. I think a brief visit there, along with some funds for the local Republicans, would be a smart choice. The Texas GOP appreciates the investment and the visit as they work to flip the Democratic stronghold. Okay, yeah, that helped. Oh wow. Let's go to Texas. And you know what? Let me go to Massachusetts because we already invested in Texas. Well, it was never in doubt that DNC, the Democrats, would nominate Governor Smith, Al Smith of New York. How will you focus your attacks on him? So, I mean, there's really two paths with Al Smith. You can either attack him for being a Catholic or being a wet, basically someone that, you know, pro-alcohol. Prohibition, by the way. We don't want to take the high road. Yeah, we're gonna go really harsh on them just to get as many states as possible. I pledge allegiance to the United States, while Al Smith pledges allegiance to the Pope in Rome. Some mudslinging could win us parts of the solid South, yeah. These are some rather nasty attacks, but will help you in the so-called solid South, yeah, in the blue South. Although this could hurt you in regions such as New England. Tariffs are a very topical issue with Republicans generally supporting them and Democrats in favor of free trade. How will you address tariffs in your campaign? Because we're trying to go for the South, we gotta be more not moderate, just like silent. Think our campaign is looking to be competitive in the South. We cannot backtrack on the agricultural tariffs, but perhaps we should not mention much about other types of tariffs. As it turns out, Al Smith's campaign seems to not want to focus on tariffs. This is perfect for you. Nice, okay. Electoral vote estimate 429 for Hoover, and Al Smith has 102. Popular vote, oh my god, we're almost beating Smith by 20. It's a very good mod though, like, I think it's made by Astro was someone else, so congrats to both of you. I think Astro did the Republican side. And there we go, so we're almost leading in there. I'm gonna go to... let's go to Texas because we didn't go before. One potential point of weakness is your speaking skills. which are less than ideal for a presidential candidate. How will you deal with this? We cannot risk giving Smith any time to turn the narrative. That is good. Limit my campaign appearances. No. The best strategy is to take a balanced approach. We should let my celebrity status carry some weight, but it would be unwise to avoid campaigning at all. Your limited speeches are well received, but and minimize the opportunity to make some embarrassing blunders. Sometimes less is more. The prohibition of alcohol has now been going for roughly a decade. And while generally supported, there are those concerned by an increase of crime and corruption from the ban. How will your administration treat prohibition? So we just gotta tag Al Smith on this. Let's not talk about our stance on prohibition. Yeah, as governor of New York, Al Smith has been complacent with a crime that comes with failing to enforce prohibition. He cannot be president, or he may allow these crimes to run rampant nationwide. This is a good attack that ties Smith to the gangs and crimes of prohibition. Okay, so we got almost there. Let's go to Massachusetts once again. One of the most important reasons Smith has been struggling, especially in the South, is his Catholic faith. Do you have anything to say about Al Smith's faith? I don't know. We gotta go nasty on this because we want to win as many states as possible. Probably gonna go with no man whose allegiance to the Vatican before the United States should be allowed to ascend to the White House. This is a particularly aggressive attack, and one that will hurt you in certain areas and help in others, okay? Your advisors are making it clear that there is an opening port in the Solid South, as it's called, due to Al Smith's stance on prohibition and his Catholic faith. However, the attacks that will be needed to made are quite nasty. How will you go about handling this? So we just gotta go full mode and attack him as much as possible. Stepping down, muscling in, no. Local Republicans, no. Doors will be open. I have full trust in Republicans, local Republicans, to campaign in a way that best enables us to win. Let them organize however they wish. News of this creeps up north, and while you aren't blamed, there is some backlash with Catholic voters in the region. Okay, we gotta go back to Massachusetts then. Shoot. Electoral vote estimate for 61 for us, and Smith has 70. We have flipped North Carolina and Virginia, so that's good. Back to Massachusetts. One aspect of your campaign is your status as a celebrity in the US and around the world. Your work as Secretary of Commerce in this past decade and food czar during the Great War have been well regarded. How will you emphasize this? So I think we gotta go for the Great War efforts he did. My time at the Commission for Relief in Belgium helped feed millions during the Great War and received support by Democrats and Republicans. Your service at the Commission in Belgium was a noble cause, and your standing in the polls reflects that. One of Al Smith's greatest weaknesses is his links to Tammany Hall, the organization with heavy ties to the New York Democrats. How will you discuss this in your campaign? I think if we're able to call Al Smith both a wet and a corrupt person, then we can do quite well. Is there something? Yeah, there we go. We will use this to paint Governor Smith as a drunken corrupt fool. The wet Tammany Hall candidate has no chance of winning. A wet Tammany candidate is indeed out of the norm for this nation and shall likely hurt Smith more than anything else, so We have flipped in Texas, Alabama, New York, I think, yeah. How is Massachusetts this close yet? It's not this, I mean, it's still quite blue to be honest, so. Shoot, might go to New York after this. To Massachusetts, of course, whatever. Since the end of the Great War, foreign policy has become a minor but consistent topic that presidents consider. What is your viewpoint on our foreign policy? So we just gotta be isolationist and just you know, kind, just like during the Great War. Blah blah. Decade. No, we cannot consider joining the League of Nations. Not yet. We've been taking the right course. We could take further steps to isolate abroad. No, I think we're gonna go. Just like during the Great War, I hope we can avoid conflict and help prevent mass humanitarian disasters. Okay. Americans are still isolationist, but supporting humanitarian relief is certainly a noble cause that backed by many. Although you continue to maintain a lead in the polls, advisors believe that a speaking tour would benefit your campaign. Where would you like to visit today? Oh, okay. I think we got the South on lock, essentially. And we're gonna go for Massachusetts because that seems to be the one last kind of competitive stronghold for Al Smith. We can give a brief but nice speech in Massachusetts reminding voters why they have always supported the GOP cause. The speech, although met with smaller than expected crowd, goes over quite well with those who what? Okay. Whatever. Shoot. Let's go to Alabama, yeah. Some political experts believe that there may be an increased turnout of women in this election. The New York Times claiming this year the president of the US will probably be chosen by a woman. Many women are entering the electorate due to Governor Smith's candidacy, both to support and oppose him. What will you do? So, I mean, I think women were really anti-what, and I think they were prohibition. So, is there something that we can, you know, do that? Yeah, there we go. So, women were at the forefront of the prohibition movement. We should emphasize this against Governor Smith's anti-prohibition stance. Women are especially concerned about Governor Smith's prohibition stance, and emphasizing this will help you win them over him. Okay, of course. Shoot! It's getting a bit closer than I expected. I mean, in the swing states that I want to win. Perhaps the largest hurdle in trying to win the South is the typical GOP stance on civil rights. The convention's platform included a plank for an anti-lynching bill. How will you maneuver this issue to try to win the South? So we gotta, you know, cave in a little bit, not too much. I refuse to back down. Back down, no. Overthrow the natural order, no. Wish to improve the South. We don't want to remove African Americans from Southern Republican leadership, no. We can't sever our ties with the African American Republicans, but we must deflect the anti-lynching plank when it is brought up, yeah. Probably the best in the South, although Northern leaders are disappointed. Yeah, what can I do? Okay, so how many? Let's go back to Massachusetts. Okay. One of your most important philosophies is your idea of volunteerism, the idea of individualism, working alongside public services to solve problems. How will you discuss this during your campaign? There's not that many, diverse answers, so I'm gonna go for, let's put volunteerism in action. My surrogates should do some public service for a bit. and I will donate to reputable charities. Yeah. Some papers argue that this was a political ploy. Unfortunately, or whatever. Whether this hurts your polling numbers remains to be seen. I mean, what can I do though? Whatever. Oh shoot. Okay. While most polling shows you favored to win, there is some concern that you may lose some of the states in the north, especially Massachusetts and Rhode Island. What will you do? I think we won't change funding, but I think... Oh, there we go, yeah. We'll not change our funding situation, but I will visit Massachusetts and Rhode Island and help out our local Republicans. Local Republicans appreciate the visit and will continue to campaign with much vigor. And yeah, so... South is quite red, but still... Massachusetts not that blue, not that red, so... For the Washington Naval Treaty, 5 years old, there are some concerns about the certain definitions and terms in the treaty. I got no idea about this, to be honest. What are your thoughts about Washington, about the treaty, and is a superseding treaty something that you shall consider? What is that? I got no idea, but I guess I believe a new naval treaty is a good way to ensure stability and world peace in an age of new and growing naval technology. This answer may scare isolationists, but the average American doesn't mind the treaty. Okay, I mean, whatever. Given your business-oriented platform, many progressives are wondering if they will have representation in your cabinet. What will a Hoover cabinet look like? Oh god, I don't know. I'm just gonna go for the one that I'll probably like the most. We have not appealed to progressives, so we might have to, pick their candidates on this one. Coolidge cabinet, a pro-business cabinet, or my first pick? Let's just go a bit with progressives, why not? We haven't really talked to them. My first pick for Secretary of Agriculture is progressive Charles McNary. Regardless of our thoughts on the McNary-Hogan bill, he would be a fantastic person for this role. Oh shoot. Murmurs began to grow among Republican officials in opposition to McNary. They began to try to convince you to change your mind on this, and time will tell if you back down. I mean, we had to appeal to them. I think that was a good decision, yeah. Texas, Alabama, and almost every swing state is lean R, except for Massachusetts, which we'll have to go back to Massachusetts in a second. So electoral vote estimate 479, while Smith has 52. Let's try to get Massachusetts. Let's be frank, Herbert. Given the economic prosperity of the last few years, what is the economic outlook that you personally see? Will these roaring 20s continue into the next decade? Yeah, let's just go with the most, basic... The answer that the people want to hear, essentially. Yeah. Oh, this one talks about peace and isolationism. So, I have full confidence in the economic outlook, and as the international community continues to disarm, we'll see a more peaceful, productive world. Yeah, I wish. An international focused answer, but many people get the message, and I think that was good. Before you make your way back to California, your campaign managers are asking you to take a tour of a few states. Where would you like to go? We gotta go, north, I think. I think we have... What question are we in? Yeah, 24th. I gotta, let's go to the north. We will avoid the south and try to lock down the north. New York, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island are where we shall end our campaign. This is a safe move if you want to win in Governor Smith's home state. This move cannot hurt you, and my trick here... Oh, what? I mean, it shows Texas as lean R, so I guess we'll go back to Massachusetts again? Yeah. We'll go back to Massachusetts for the last time. As you return to your home in California, advisors believe that you should you should take extra advantage of the radio in order to make a final speech. Unlike normal stump speeches, these radio addresses must be catered to a broad audience. What will this speech be about? So, let's see. Oh shoot, I want to look at the map. 50, 50. I think, we will probably, he wasn't that good with speeches, so we will get our circuits to repeat the speeches from the Republican National Convention. We'll use this to unify the party and the nation. This message drives Republican turnout in the final stretch. You watch the returns come home from Stanford University. Oh wow, that's nice. Best of luck, Mr. Hoover. Yeah, let's go. Election night has arrived. Settle in and wait for the returns, however long it may take. Best of luck. Okay. Nice, let's start this. Maine. Oh my god, almost 40% for us. South Carolina goes for Al Smith by 93%. I mean, it's South Carolina, so. Almost 40% in Vermont. 35% I think in New Hampshire. Ohio goes for us, Hoover, by 21%. Pennsylvania goes for us by almost 30%. Virginia goes for us by 5%. Shoot, okay. I won't wish more. New Jersey, almost 30%. Michigan, 49%. There we go. So congratulations, you won this year's election. Let's see the other ones. So Georgia, 10%. Oh, Jesus, only 10% for Al Smith, and we have won New York, the home state of Al Smith, by more than 4%. Rhode Island goes for us by less than 5%. Illinois, 15%. Alabama, big flip here, goes for us by less than 3%. Oh my god. Texas goes for us by almost 3%. And Massachusetts as well, Jesus, goes for us by 1%. And North Carolina, 1.6, almost 1.5. And we win our home state by almost 40%. Or I should say 40 points, so yeah. Final results. Congratulations, you have won the 1928 election. This was to be expected, as your own personal popularity mixed with Al Smith's Catholic faith paved the way for an easy win. You will continue the Republican domination of the 1920s, and you are expected to continue the course of these last few years. Hopefully you can continue to maintain the economic growth of the last few years and ensure the 1930s are just as prosperous as the 1920s. Prepare to spread volunteerism and continue the economic prosperity. Many are excited to see what the next few years shall bring. So let's compare to the actual election. So we got 479 electoral votes against Hoover's actual 444 electoral votes, which, yeah, so we won Alabama and Massachusetts and Rhode Island. I actually want to see how much Massachusetts was. It was almost 1%, so yeah. Well, for Al Smith, he got 52 electoral votes, but IRL, he got 87 electoral votes. For our popular vote, we got 22 million, which is a lot, while Hoover IRL got 21.5. Al Smith got almost 15 million, like 14 million, and with 0.75, so he only got he only got 1/4 of a million less. And we actually hit 60% of the popular vote, which Hoover only got 58, so yeah, this was an absolute landslide for Herbert Hoover and the GOP. Yeah, this was a new mod by Astro and Mocha, I think. Yeah, and Mocha, I don't know which one. And yeah, this is a great mod. I'm pretty impressed, I will say this, especially for a mod that was just recently made. Feel free to, give any more suggestions to other mods you would like to see in the future. And there we go. Thank you for watching. Feel free to leave a like, join the channel membership, and see you next time.